What phone is your favorite of all phones you've used as your daily driver?
I'm going to get Luke to go first because I think he hates all of them. And that's funny.
Of all time? Is that so? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
so in that moment in time, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Is it Samsung Galaxy S3? Is that the right way of saying that? The one that had the removable back and battery.
Yeah, I think the S3 had a removable back. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I loved that phone. It felt indestructible. I remember multiple times dropping it and it would just explode every single time. The back would go flying in one direction, the battery would go flying in another direction, the phone itself would skid somewhere else, and then it would be fine every single time. There was one time where I was running at school and I jumped over a fence and it was in my like sweater pocket. So I'm already decently tall, and then I jumped and then it went flying up out. So it got some like air and whacked into like concrete and blew up everywhere. And I put it back together going like, there's no way this is going to work. And it immediately turned back on and was like, I'm fine. And that thing was a tank. And it was also like pretty fast and felt pretty nice for its time.
Phones used to be durable, man. I dropped my
Yeah.
Samsung Jive off the back of a cantering horse. I don't know why I was trying to use my phone on the back of a horse while I was at running speed,
Yeah.
but it hit the ground, exploded,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Put it back together and it fired up. I guess that would maybe be one of my favorite phones. The only thing I liked about it was it had this ringtone that I really liked. I've never had a better ringtone than that one. If I could find it, I would totally put it on my current phone. But for me, I'd say I have to pick the Note 9. It's the most complete phone ever, in my opinion. It has a non-picture based face unlock with their iris scanner that I don't believe was it present in the Note 7? I'm trying to remember the one that blew up. I think it might have been, but it went away after the Note 9, so it had an iris scanner, which came in handy for me a lot. While all the definitely savvy shoppers with iPhones were pulling their masks off to use Face ID and putting them back on, I was able to use iris scan. Also, it has a like a touch sensor, a fingerprint sensor that is not Samsung's new ultrasonic one that is slow and inaccurate and basically sucks. Had a headphone jack. The one thing that it didn't have is an IR emitter. Like other than that, it had basically everything.
Yeah,
SD
yeah.
expansion.
Notes were always very like every feature possible. Yeah.
Were. It didn't have a removable battery, but it's also not a ton of work to swap the battery in that particular device. Wireless charging, no reverse wireless charging, but that's something that even on a device that I believe this one has it. I don't know. I've never checked. I don't care. I would never use that.
I don't have any like proof for this, but I always kind of liked the removable battery because of the drop it and it explodes thing. Because I always had the like thought in my head that it might be similar to kind of like ceramics.
Mhm.
Like some of the force goes in throwing that backplate and that battery and stuff like that instead
Oh,
of
that's
in
totally a thing.
smashing something. So I kind of liked the idea that when I dropped my phone, it would kind of blow up like that. Because it's like, it's not like I'm not going to find the backplate.
I still think it's a bug rather than a feature, but sure, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with a bug that
Lego
has
phones, just
I mean, they wouldn't do that unless it received a significant amount of force. So, I don't know. I was always down with it.